Welcome back to GB News Sunday with me, Dawn Neeson, on your telly, online and on digital radio. Now, brace yourself, people. Can men give birth? Simple question. On an NHS-sponsored podcast, a nurse claimed not all people who have babies might call themselves a she or a woman or a mum. Going on to say, while reviewing teenage pregnancy documents, she noticed some of their language was incredibly gendered. Huh? So I want to know, it's simple. You know, we've done, can men have penises? Now, okay, can women have penises even? Can men give birth? I'm going to come to you, Amy, on this one first. I get quite annoyed about this subject because I do believe women's health can suffer because of the confusion about language in healthcare. Men can't give birth, can they?
I will agree with you that women's health is suffering, and on the whole, maternity services are terrible at the moment, so it's pretty dangerous for anyone to be giving birth. But it is also true that there are some men who choose to have children, who choose to get pregnant and have children. There's there's a man called Freddie McConnell, and he made a film called Seahorse, which is about his journey as a legal man having a baby. And I think, if you know, when you say the question, can men give birth? Of course, it sounds instantly absurd. It does. And I think it's framed that way, isn't it? It's like the whole, oh, can a man have a penis? And it's designed to make you sound silly and
How did this guy have a
However,
baby?
These people are very, very few. This is how Keir Starmer got in all that trouble, isn't it? Because he was like,
by being a bit confused
But it's not true to say a man hasn't given birth, because Freddie McConnell is a man by law, and he gave birth.
How did he have a baby? What was implanted into his body?
So it's a biological woman to start with.
Yeah.
So it's a woman.
Transitioned. So according to the 2004 Gender Recognition Act, he's now a legal man. Thus, you know, Dawn, humans are complex. Humans are diverse.
So he was a legal man, but not a biological man. Is that right?
I mean, he had transitioned. He had transitioned.
He was a biological male.
And there are a lot of people
to be a woman and gave birth.
Yes,
there are
so
a lot
he wasn't
of people
a biological man.
Well, not a lot. There's actually not, because there's a vanishingly small number of men who choose to have children, who choose to use their reproductive organs that they have kept post-transition to give birth.
Yeah, but biologically, a man can't give birth, can he?
I mean, is that the question?
Well, the question is straightforward. Can men give birth?
Well,
and a biological man can't give birth unless he goes to some clinic in Switzerland and they reconstruct his body.
But, you know, that example I give of Freddie McConnell, in every respect, he's a man, right? He's transitioned to a man. The law recognises him as a man.
But not biologically. There's a huge difference
biologically, he's a transgender man. Right?
Biologically, he's a man who has
a transgender man. So if we wanted to complete the sentence, transgender men can give birth.
This is my issue with this, right? Okay, this is where it gets confusing, because Freddie, and I've worked with Freddie, and is a lovely person, okay, but was born female, transitioned to become a man. Now, we're getting confused about who's transitioning where and what you call them. Now, imagine, I was saying earlier on, I live in Tower Hamlets, and a lot of the healthcare notes there are written to be gender neutral. There's a lot of women in my area who don't have English as a first language. It's confusing for us. This is my issue with this. I think women's healthcare is suffering because we are afraid to use the word woman.
I saw a great interview this weekend. I can't remember which colour magazine it was in, but it was Sharon Davis, the swimmer, who has campaigned endlessly to try and stop biological men entering women's worlds of sport,
She's campaigned to erase trans rights and to prevent trans women from partaking in
I don't
sport.
believe so. I think she's tried to protect women-only spaces from men. I mean, look, she's got a point, because she could have been an even greater Olympian had she not been beaten by somebody who, to this day, she believes was not fully a woman that she was racing against. But the point is, she interviewed Caitlyn Jenner, and I think Caitlyn Jenner is one of the most sensible voices on the planet about the trans issue, because she's very famous, she's not at all militant about it, she tells it as it is, and she does say a trans woman is not a man. Sorry, a trans man is not a woman.
You already get mixed up.
No, but
words,
she says a trans... I read the interview. It's very interesting. A trans man cannot be a woman. Now, if she says it, I think that absolutely defines it. And instead of anybody, you know, wanting to accept that, they go off into literally reams and reams and reams of crosstalk and
well,
this and that. And
I just listen
some
to
of the
law
arguments that
over
you put in.
Caitlyn Jenner. Like Freddie McConnell's passport says male on it, and that's all. That's as simple as it is to me. That person, the law, the country, every experience that he has in this world is male, and he also had a baby.
Yeah, but anybody who wants to...
And at the time, he did get... he said he fell out with, I think it was one of his parents, because they said, but surely this is the most feminine, womanly thing you can do, to have a baby. So they felt like it was at odds with the masculinity. And it actually completely fractured that relationship. And he said the desire to be a parent is completely separate to your innate gender that you feel in your identity that is so immutable and something that you just cannot change. His desire to be a parent put that they were separate.
Yeah, Amy, where do you stand?
So, you know, even he's admitting that it's quite a confusing concept.
But where do you stand, for instance, on the women's changing room issue? You know,
but I just want to take it back to this because I saw an article I had kept in my understairs. I kept a newspaper from 2001, right? But, it was something that I cut out. And on the other side, it was from The Sun, and this was 2001, and it said, lesbian couple have baby. This is mad and outrageous and impossible. And it was all the things we say at the moment about trans men giving birth. And I thought, this is what it is. We're just taking a while to catch up. And really, in 2001, you imagine, oh, we've always been progressive about same-sex couples. We really weren't. We really weren't. And the rhetoric around trans people now is similar to that around same-sex parents in the noughties.
I don't agree with that. I think there's a huge amount of acceptance, understanding, tolerance, but I just can't... When somebody asks me a question, can men give birth, I can't say how anybody can possibly answer in the affirmative.
It seems counterintuitive, that's why.
We have to go to the news now, but what do you think? Do you think a man can have a baby? Biologically give birth to a baby, a man? I'm Dawn Neeson. This is GB News Sunday, and there's lots more coming up on today's show, but first, here's the news headlines.